Getting to Work is the podcast of NCI Works. I'm John Spencer from Starved Rock Media, joined today by a very special guest, Erika Montgomery. Hi, Erika.
Hey, John, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
If you're watching on YouTube, you get a wonderful Halloween background. It just so happens we're recording on Halloween Day, and Erika, you said this is one of your husband's favorite holidays?
It is indeed. He goes all out for it. We don't have any kids at home, but we're kids at heart. And so we really love going all out for Halloween.
That's one of the secrets to life, I think, isn't it? Continuing to be a kid at heart.
Absolutely. Bring on the candy.
Yeah, there's a reason this is shot from the chest up here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely true. Erica is a CEO, digital marketing expert with Three Girls Media. She was a 2019 Thurston County Chamber Boss of the Year and has a whole bunch of other awards too. We're happy to have you on today, and we're going to talk about probably all over the place, any number of things, but primarily striving for that work-life balance. Tell me a little bit
Yeah, absolutely.
about Erica and broadcasting, radio, and TV, you said.
Yeah, actually, broadcasting was my first career right out of college. I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was on air in San Francisco, both television and radio, for almost 20 years. And the last 10 years of my career, I was doing morning shows. And in broadcasting, to do morning shows, you've got to be up at like 2 a.m. And so it's a tough schedule to live when you've got young kids and everybody wants dinner and mommy's got to go to bed. So I was looking for other careers where I could use the skills that I had learned in the media without necessarily being a member of the media anymore, and did some research, came up with marketing and PR, and decided to start cold calling some agencies in Silicon Valley. I had a pretty well-known on-air name at the time and said, "Hey, this is who I am. I'm willing to start at the bottom of the food chain. You teach me about marketing and PR, and I'll teach you everything I know about media." And one CEO said, "Can you come in for an interview right now?" I said, "Yes." She hired me, and I worked there for a few years, worked my way up to director of media relations, and worked with huge companies like the Knight Ridder newspaper organization and NBC, and ultimately left them to go to work for the California state legislature as a press secretary, and
Okay.
worked in government for a few years till I couldn't stomach that anymore. And then decided, you know what, I think really it's more about work-life balance for me. And if I'm going to be working 70, 80 hours a week, I want to do it for myself and build a better mousetrap. So in 2005, I launched out on my own with Three Girls Media and haven't looked back since. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh, congratulations. Uh, Shared radio media background, so I totally get the being on the air doing mornings, having kids. My kids are all grown now, so I don't have to worry about that. But now, as the owner of these radio stations, that we have four signals. They all stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It can be all consuming. So work-life
Mhm.
balance is something obviously that I'm constantly struggling with. I know a lot of other people are too, and as it applies to workplace and how bosses can help set the tone, if you will, and help attract and retain employees by offering a better work-life balance. I always think it starts at the top. So,
Mhm.
some tips. How do you set those boundaries? How do you begin to establish, when we're all passionate and things are all consuming, how do you go, okay, I got to take a breath and step back here for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I start with letting my team members set their own schedules. So some people are morning people, some people work better later in the afternoon, some people are night owls. And in my industry in particular, it really doesn't matter when the work gets done as long as the work is getting done by deadline. So giving my team the flexibility to work the hours that works best for them actually increases their productivity and makes them happier employees. So I start there. And then I'm all for giving flex time. So I encourage my team to take care of themselves. If they're feeling stressed out and want to take, an extra long lunch so they can go have coffee with a friend, or they feel like, catching a movie midday or something like that, it's not the end of the world. The work is still going to get done. You need to trust your team that if you treat them like adults and able to manage their own time and their own schedule, that they're going to get the work done. And it's worked out really well for me.
Absolutely. I can vouch for that 100% here too. What do you say to bosses that you may encounter from time to time who have a hard time getting there? And if maybe someone who's watching or listening is struggling with a boss that you're trying to get them to the point where you're like, "Hey, come on. I can do this at 10 p.m. as well as 10 a.m."
Right. Well, baby steps, right? So maybe if the boss isn't comfortable letting employees work around the clock, maybe you slightly extend your hours. So instead of 9 to 5, maybe you offer your team the ability to work anywhere between, say, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., and giving them just a couple hours on either end to adjust their schedule and be a little flexible. And so starting with baby steps, I think, is a good way to go. Maybe also offering your team one flex day a month where they can take a half a day and do whatever they want. If they want to, sleep in extra late and come into the office late, or if they want to, have that extra long lunch with a friend or go to the beach or whatever for a half a day, trust your team to take that half a day and know that they're going to come back to work refreshed, rejuvenated, in a good headspace, and ready to get the work done.
What an amazing transformation that's been from you have to be chained to your desk, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever it is, to now, hey, why don't you take half a day and we'll pay you for it,
Mhm.
But when and if you can get there, I can tell you it offers amazing results.
It absolutely does. My team is so grateful to have the ability to have a flexible schedule. And I've literally got team members that work in the middle of the night because they're night owls and they're most productive at 2 a.m. And so if that works for them, hey, that's great. I think that obviously it won't work for every industry. Some businesses have brick and mortar locations where there may be open more regular business hours and things like that. But even with a brick and mortar location, you can find ways to give your team some better work life balance, whether it is that half day off to go have fun, or maybe adjusting your hours one day a week a little bit differently. So maybe if you're normally open, your shop is open 9 to 5, maybe one day you're going to open 10 to 6 and let your employees come in a little bit later and sleep in or something like that. There's always things that you can do.
It's amazing. And, one of the biggest complaints that you hear from employers is trying to find and retain quality people. You really have to start by treating them like quality people if you want to keep them, right? If you expect
Absolutely.
them to show up every day, exactly on time and bust their butts for you, what are you doing for them? Sure, you're paying them, but there are a lot of places that will pay them, right?
Absolutely. In this day and age, getting a paycheck isn't enough. It's just not. It's not enough to be competitive. And we even offer some random, unusual benefits, like, for example, paying for our team members' Costco memberships, or it's Sam's Club in other parts of the country, for folks that might not be familiar with Costco. But that $50 a year goes a long way to being able to let our employees shop for bargain goods and get really good rates. And $50 to us as a company is chump change when it comes to making your team members happy and giving them a better quality of life. And that all feeds into that work life balance.
Absolutely. And once you start doing that, it really can be almost a snowball effect. You see the engagement increase and, you know, hey, it's still a job, right? You have to be here a certain amount of time. And in radio, you have a show to do from, 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day. But when you invest in your employees like that in a way that goes above and beyond, it returns to you oftentimes multifold.
Absolutely. And we do other things too as a whole team to try to increase the fun in the workplace. So at least quarterly, we'll do some kind of fun event. And keep in mind that my company is entirely virtual. So all of my team members work from their own home offices or a coffee shop or the beach, wherever they feel like working that day. But we get together on Zoom. For example, today you mentioned it's Halloween. So this afternoon at 3 o'clock, we're having a Zoom Halloween party. Everyone is coming dressed up for in their favorite Halloween costume, and everybody's coming with three jokes and their favorite Halloween story. We're also going to play Halloween Mad Libs and have a great time just hanging out together for an hour. We do ice cream socials where I'll give everybody a gift certificate to go get ice cream, and we'll just, sit around and have fun and chit chat for an hour and eat ice cream. We've done pizza parties and all kinds of virtual game days and things like that, where we just try to have fun as a team. Not only does it help grow your cohesion as a group, especially when you've got a remote company, but it helps us get to know each other a little bit better on a personal level. It keeps the fun in the workplace, and I think it works just as well for a virtual company as it does a brick and mortar location.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask about that being 100% virtual, how that works, because I think you can lose things. Well, you can get a lot done remotely and a lot done Zoom or Teams or whatever you're using. Sometimes you can still lose some of that connectivity, can't you?
Absolutely, you can. And so we work really hard to keep that connectivity going. So, for example, every Monday morning at 10:30, we have a staff meeting on Zoom. We always start the staff meeting by going around to everyone on the team, talking about our weekends. What did you do? How was your weekend? And just talking about the last couple days and what we did. And then we always end the meeting with what we call a water cooler question of the week. It's some random fun question, could be about anything, like what do you like to drink throughout the day? Or what's the best movie you watched recently? Or what book are you reading right now? And everybody gets a chance to answer the question. It's a fun way to end the meeting in a lighthearted way, gets an opportunity to know your other team members a little bit better. And you can do that in person at staff meetings as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those are some fantastic ideas. You have other ideas or suggestions for employers that are looking to, increase that connectivity and employee happiness and retention?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say you've got to start with trusting your team. And letting them know that you trust them. And you can show that in a variety of ways. Maybe if you've got flexibility on a project, asking them what deadline the team member would like to set for getting the work done, as long as it's going to get the project accomplished by that due date, but giving them some choices. Instead of dictating everything to your team, put the ball in their court and let them decide how the project's going to run, what their deliverable deadlines are going to be, how they're going to accomplish the project, instead of dictating everything. And really trust your team. If they hang themselves, they hang themselves, and consider it a learning lesson. And you can always do a debrief and figure out what you can learn to change things the next time around. But that's how people learn, right? By doing things on their own, by making mistakes sometimes. and you just pick yourself up, dust yourself off. There are very few fatal mistakes I've learned, and it really lets people know that they're appreciated and trusted. And I think that goes a long way for employee retention.
Absolutely. Make some great points there. And I'm not sure there are many good managers out there who wouldn't love a team or a team member that would just want to pick the ball up and run with it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You hope it's not the wrong direction, but
Right. Right. You can always ask them to come back to you with their plan, right? So, why don't you create the plan? Let me know how you want to accomplish this project or this task. Run it by me so I kind of have an idea and can sign off on it, and then let them run. So, you can still provide that managerial oversight and have the comfort of knowing what the plan is before they actually enact it.
are there any resources you recommend, Erica, for an employer boss who may be wanting to find out more about how they can do this better?
Yeah, one of the resources I love, and it's a fun one, is daysoftheyear.com. It's a free website, again, daysoftheyear.com. And this website has all those fun, crazy holidays that you've never heard of, like Oatmeal Cookie Day or Talk Like a Pirate Day, and things like this. And you can build a lot of fun work activities around those days. So for example, for oatmeal cookie day, there literally is an oatmeal cookie day. You can have an oatmeal cookie contest and ask people to bring in their best oatmeal cookie recipe. Talk like a pirate day. You can have a pirate contest and have people dress up like pirates and come in and give their best pirate monologue and give out prizes. So, utilize a fun calendar like that where you can leverage really fun, wacky holidays and just have a good time with it.
Yeah, that's the key. It's got to be more than just the drudgery of work. It truly does.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it will make people so much more dedicated to you and your company if they enjoy going to work, if they look at it as a positive experience, if they have these fun times every once in a while and aren't just chained to their desk in the drudgery day in and day out.
Whip, whip, whip. Give me more, more, more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We don't like to be like that. We want to have a good time, but still get things accomplished. And I think that's really the best of both worlds.
Great common sense points, Erica. I can see why you won Boss of the Year and many of the other awards that you have. I've got to know before we go, what was your on-air name?
Erika Taylor.
Okay.
So I used Erika Taylor and still my regular first name. Taylor was a pseudonym that I actually picked out of the phone book. Just randomly open a page of the phone book, put my finger down. Taylor was there, and I thought, all right, that sounds short, sweet, to the point. Erika Taylor. So that's what it was.
Yeah, and it worked. It's always interesting to hear how personalities got their air names. So,
Yeah, mine was literally opening the page of a phone book and putting down my finger.
and sometimes, folks, it's just that easy. Truly is. If you want to find out more about Erica, you can check out threegirlsmedia.com. Thank you so much for your time. Great stuff that we can put to use today to not only keep the employees we have happier, but keep the ones that we bring in longer, hopefully. Happy Halloween, Erica.
Yes, happy Halloween to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. It's Erika Montgomery from Three Girls Media. For all things work in North Central Illinois, go to nciworks.org.